afternoon, everyone. I guess I'm the podium guy. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Good to see you.
The folks on Zoom are not going to be able to see you unless you move to the left. But you're right.
To the left.
Over there.
So, well, thank you. I guess there is a lot of the stuff, history that Joel have mentioned that relieves me of going too much of it. I've been advocating for Palestinian rights for a long time. But I can't escape from the idea of bringing it to everybody's attention. At the beginning of the Zionist movement in the late 19th century, there was this slogan of the people with no land for land with no people. Now, did they know? Of course they knew. Palestine, with all its ancient cities, continuously inhabited since the dawn of history. Cities like Nazareth, Akka, Haifa, Nablus, my city, where continuously we have three different populations of religion there. I'll give you notice of the Sumerians on Mount Gerizim, Ramallah, Hebron, not to mention Bethlehem, of course, Jerusalem, the religious center of the three faiths, destination of pilgrimage of millions of believers, Jerusalem, the jewel of competition of all the Christian sects for influence on the churches since the dawn of Christianity. The story, by the way, an interesting story of the immovable ladder. I don't know how many of you know that, but check that out. It's in the church of the Holy Sepulchre, where the one ladder would not be moved because each sect did not know which one is responsible for it, from the floor to the ceiling of different sects governing that. And that has been since 1728. So of course they knew. But if you check closely in the historical record, what you would find is that what they actually meant with the slogan is Europeans with no land for land with no Europeans. So the colonial mindset by which it is a legitimate thing to erase and completely ignore the native population, and add to that the claim to mandate from God to do so. So the erasure of the indigenous people and their culture is complete and accepted. Forward a little bit in history to the Balfour Declaration in 1917, and whether Sir Balfour was a Christian Zionist or an anti-Semite, or both he was actually, and trying to resolve the racist European problem, what they call the Jewish problem. He gave, the Balfour Declaration gave some lip service to the indigenous population. But nonetheless, and all of that Balfour Declaration, you look up the text in it, imagine the audacity of the British colonialists promising the land of one people to another people. And that's happening in November 2nd, 1917. Keep in mind, the First World War did not finish until November 1918. Not only that, the British did not have a mandate on Palestine until 1920. The audacity of the colonialists giving that promise for something they didn't even control. That's the mindset that the insolence of the colonial mindset that makes it legitimate to completely ignore the will and the existence of the native population. Further illustrate the colonial mindset, take an example of what Winston Churchill, when asked about the ruthlessness of the British treatment of Palestinians for the benefit of the Zionist settlers at that time that were flooding Palestine, particularly during the 1936-39 revolt of the Palestinians. There was the Pell Commission, P-E-L,